So about Lupin the Third. Lupin is in this really weird spot in anime. It feels like it is very well known and has a decent fan base. It features in multiple countries and all, with the newest season being in London right now, I'm pretty sure. Lupin has been a thing for a while now too, so it has been gathering a fan base for a decent amount of time now, but at the same time it feels like no one even knows it exists. Not once have I seen a single person talk about the series online. The only reason I figured out it existed was thanks to my friend. He recommended it to me saying it was good, so I gave it a chance, and I ended up enjoying it a good amount. So it feels unknown, but it really isn't at the same time. It came out in 1971, that's probably mostly why. Either that or has the most quiet fan base ever, because to this day I've not seen a single person talk about the series online. But still, they come out with new seasons every few years, so it really doesn't make sense to me. So it inspired me to make this video today and talk about Lupin the Third a little, and why it is such an enjoyable series to watch. Before that though, like and subscribe for future content. To start off, let me give a brief summary of what the story is about. The story follows Lupin the Third and his gang, who are a group of thieves. They travel around the world looking for treasures to steal, and in every season they are stealing in a different part of the world. In the newest one that just came out, they are stealing in London. But then they also have this officer guy named Zenigata who chases them around, but he doesn't really ever pose much of a threat. He's more on the side of comedy relief if anything. Sometimes he does kinda get them, but in the end they always escape. And that's pretty much all there is to it story wise. A very simple formula, but it has done the series well for over 40 years now. Alright, so as for the type of people this series will cater to, I think pretty much anyone. I mean, for some reason you go in expecting a super serious anime, you're going to be disappointed. As you could probably tell from my description of the anime, it is very laid back for the most part. It has a very straightforward formula that it goes by, and it hasn't failed it yet. It's so simple it almost feels like a Disney cartoon or something. The series is episodic but isn't at the same time. Each season is them traveling to a different part of the world, but all of them are within their own story, so they don't really overlap with each other. So you can start with the newest one if you really wanted to, and you wouldn't really miss anything. You can watch them in any order that you want, but each individual season is not episodic within itself. They will feel like they are episodic sometimes, but they end up tying back together some way or another by the end of it. Me personally, I've only watched 2 different Lupin seasons, that being the 2015 season and the newest one this year. I plan to get to the others eventually once I run out of other shows to watch. There's a general order people recommend, but you do not have to follow it. It is just what people recommend if you wanted to go through the majority of what the series has to offer. At least that's how it is from what I'm aware of. I only watched 2 parts, but my friend has watched mostly all of it, so I'm pretty sure. He told me you can watch it in any order when I asked him if it was okay for me to watch the newest one out right now. So while it is pretty easy going on the plot, sometimes it can actually get kinda serious. While it is mostly episodic, usually the season follows a general plot that needs to be concluded by the end of it. And in the newest one, it is the one with Sherlock Holmes' story, with him retiring as a detective in order to keep his daughter safe, and apparently has a lot of history with Lupin. But now in the current storyline, he's just coming out of that retirement, since Lupin is coming to London to steal treasures. So by the end of it, we will definitely see some sort of closure with all of that. It was the same with the 2015 season. There was actually a scene in the 2015 one that really stuck with me. I watched it a while ago, so at this point I only remember the really general stuff on top of my head, but I can remember this scene very vividly. When Lupin had turned himself in and was locked away in his own prison basically. He was locked away on an island with no humans anywhere near it. The only person there was Zenigata to guard him, and Zenigata was there full of pride because he finally caught him after all these years. But Lupin was in depression basically. He refused to hear or speak or really do anything. He just sat there idly doing nothing. Then weeks went by, and he was honestly looking like he was about to die to starvation. And throughout this process, Zenigata slowly turned more empathetic to Lupin. At first he couldn't be happier to see him locked up, but seeing Lupin's health decline, it really changed that for him. But then it got to a point where Lupin had died, so Zenigata opened his cell, but Lupin actually was hoping for that so that he could escape. He used the food he was given to slowly paint an image of him being dead. It turned out to be a joke kind of by the end of it, but they really had me in the first half of that scene. I mean, he was actually depressed to some capacity at least, for a little while, but by the end of it, he was back to being himself again. But basically, if you want a fun, enjoyable series to watch to pass the time, Lupin is probably your best bet. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Lupin more or less. So if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe for future content. Peace.